evening, everyone. It is May 24th, 2022, and we are at Howell Township Council regular meeting. And I would like to call this meeting to order.
This meeting is being held in accordance with Public Law 1975, Chapter 231, Open Public Meetings Act. Adequate notice has been provided by transmitting the notice of this meeting to the Asbury Park Press, the Tri-Town News, and the Star Ledger by posting it on the bulletin board reserved for such announcements in the Township Municipal Building, and by filing it with the municipal clerk on January 11th, 2022. This agenda is complete to the extent known, and formal action will be taken. Councilman Bonovich?
Present.
Councilwoman Brennan?
Here.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Richmond?
Present.
Mayor Berger?
Present. I would like to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and I would to, there was a second school shooting today. I want to thank Howell PD for all that they do that keep our town safe.
Amen.
So I would like to, a moment for all that have passed. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mr. Clark, is there any reason to go into executive session this evening?
Yes, Mayor, we have a personnel issue, we have a clerk interview, we have a staffing issue, and then we have some attorney-client matters involving various zoning ordinances.
Okay, may I have a motion to go into executive?
I'll make a motion to go into executive, Mayor.
Second. Thank you.
Roll call, Councilman Bonovich?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Richmond?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
And if I may read the executive session resolution. Whereas the governing body of the Township of Howell is authorized pursuant to NJSA 10:4-12 to exclude the public from that portion of this meeting for purposes of discussing specific matters as permitted by NJSA 10:4-12, and whereas the governing body of the Township of Howell intends to discuss certain matters which are deemed confidential pursuant to NJSA 10:4-12 in executive session, and whereas at this time the governing body of the Township of Howell cannot determine the time when the discussion to be held in executive session will be made public, but will disclose the minutes of the executive session when the need for confidentiality no longer exists. Now therefore be it resolved by the governing body of the Township of Howell that this meeting shall be adjourned to an executive session, and the public will be excluded in order that the governing body of the Township of Howell may discuss the items listed below, which are personnel, clerk interview and staffing matter, and attorney-client privilege, TRPAC, and zoning ordinances.
Thank you. Everyone, thank you so much for your patience. We've decided, since we took your time, that we're going to forego our reports. There's not a lot that has been actually going on, and so there's a couple of new resolutions that took precedence over that time. So at this point, I would like to open the meeting. Well, I'd like to open the meeting and say the Pledge of Allegiance. And I would like to remember the two schools. There was another school shooting today. And just remember how safe we are here. We believe we are here in Howell. With our PD, they've done so much to keep us safe. So thank you to them and all first responders, and a moment of silence for all that children that we've lost. That's what I thought, but they told me no.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Allison, no, do we need to do roll call?
everybody was here earlier, so I think we're fine.
Okay. No, we're not doing that. No. I'm going to open it up to the public, right?
Are we doing minutes first, guys? Minutes, we have to accept the minutes first.
The first four. Okay. Sorry. I would like a motion to accept minutes of May 10, 2022.
I'll make a motion to accept the May 10th, 2022 minutes.
Second.
Roll call, Councilman Bonovich?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Richmond?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. At this time, I would like to open the public hearing of citizens for resolutions numbered R22-203 to R22-201. Those are backwards.
Right, the new additions
There's
are
no
on first.
202?
Is there a 202?
202 is the executive session resolution.
Yeah,
Because
so-
some came after.
Okay.
So Mayor, what we can open it up for now, we can open it up for the public comment thing. For all items.
On the consent.
Yeah, and then on the ordinances, we will have a separate hearing for each ordinance to be adopted tonight. So you can open up the public comment portion overall right now.
Can I have the list? Please. Thank you very much. First on the list is Barbara Dixell.
Barbara Dixell, The Villages, Howell Township, New Jersey. First one is R22-201. Resolution authorizing and providing for the issuance and sale of tax anticipation notes for the Township of Howell, Monmouth County, New Jersey. Can you tell me what it is, how much it is, who it's for, and why?
Who's that back?
He's getting,
He's getting loose.
Lou,
Yep.
if you just give a second, he went to get our CFO. Thank you.
Okay, hold on. All right, I'll wait for him.
So the tax anticipation note, we roll every year due to the fact that we defer our school taxes. So it creates a cash shortflow in the months of June, July, and August when the schools can ask for up to 20% of their levy payment for their debt service. So this is something that the town has been doing for the last 15, 20 years, and we roll it every year.
Okay, so this, you're going to bond for money to pay the schools?
No, we are borrowing a note, which we roll from year to year, which it supplements our cash flow until we are able to bill our third quarter taxes.
So that then you'll get paid back, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Let's hope so. 022-12. That's an ordinance, right?
Yeah, that's an
Correct.
ordinance, Barbara.
All right, one question, okay, hang on a second. So, the ordinances, I gotta, to the last page, okay. I need to know why the entire couple of pages of ordinances for June 14th that will rezone this whole town, rezone it,
Those are, but you're,
I wanna know.
Barbara, this is only
I'm
open.
not gonna be here. I will not be here next meeting. I need to
No,
ask
no.
a question.
But
I need to ask one question. Why is this town being rezoned ahead of the election? I'm gonna ask one question. I would like an answer. What does, Robert DeCastro is on the planning board. What does he have, what does he want to rezone this entire town by everything ahead of the planning board that he should get what he wants and Isabella? I want to know what's going on here. This entire town is being rezoned. Why?
Mr. Howard, Mr. Clark.
The planning board just undertook a massive undertaking with the circulation element and a land use element. It recommended a lot of zoning changes, things that have been being talked about really since the beginning of COVID, based on trends we've seen since the beginning of COVID and longer. That report came out to the planning board. It was just adopted in May, and we're moving forward with implementing the plan.
Okay, well, I'm going to say something else. Why? Okay, the planning board is remote. They've been remote for a long time. You can't get on there, you can't get heard, they don't want to know from you. All they want to know is from their professionals and the attorneys. You have to put a stop to this. You really do. The people of this town need to know what the hell is going on.
It's not my decision.
The planning board makes the quality of life by which we live in this town.
It's not my decision on how the planning board
Well,
meets.
you know what? It needs to be somebody's decision.
It's the planning board's decision.
Well, you know what? They need to come in here and have open, public meetings for the entire town that's not remote, locked down, that you can't talk because they don't want to know from you.
I agree 100%.
I mean, it's sickening. They're going to rezone this whole town. Why? What does Nakasha or DeBella or anybody want politically before the election? What do they want to gain? I want an answer.
Barbara, that's inappropriate, number one. Number two, the planning board meetings, they're open to the public, it's full transparency, and people can come out and speak anytime that they like. Yes, really.
They're remote. They're remote.
So what? What does that mean?
I have tried to get on that thing. I have tried to raise my hand.
Barbara, there's
They don't want me.
52,000 residents in this township, and I'm sorry that you have an issue getting on your internet, but those planning board meetings are, those planning board meetings have full transparency, and I resent the fact that you're attacking our professionals who've done a damn good job working with the master plan subcommittee to get this town where it needs to be. So I resent that. Good.
You got my blessings.
Thank you.
1 minute remaining.
Fine, thank you. I want to know why this whole town is being rezoned ahead of an election. That should be stopped.
That's not the case.
That should not be allowed, and maybe I'll just write to the DCA. Thank you. And report the town. You deserve it.
Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you. James Brower.
I'm just here for the
Turpak?
So I know I don't have any questions at this time. I'm hoping that
Yeah.
the ordinance, I'm sorry.
Yeah, when the ordinances are open for hearing, then just come on up for those. And
All right, thank you.
James Harper?
James Harper, 154 West 3rd Street. I'm here for 2216.
Is that an ordinance?
Yes.
We're doing the consent agenda, and then
I
each,
don't understand what you guys said earlier,
That's
so
okay.
it's not a
That's
learn to
okay.
listen, it's, I gotta understand what you're saying, so.
so we have two sections of the agenda. The first section right now, we're doing the consent agenda, and those are all resolutions.
Okay,
Once we finish that, then we'll go to the ordinances, and each one of those will be read individually, and then people will come up for those
Perfect.
individually.
thank you.
You're welcome.
See, that was a lot clearer.
That's good.
Sheila Hatami?
So I'm here on ordinances being introduced tonight. I just wanted to make a general comment. I'm hoping we'll have a chance to do so during the ordinance portion.
So a general comment about ordinances being introduced, you could probably do now. There's not going to be specific hearings on those ordinances until adoption in June. So if it's just sort of a general, something that might be of interest to the public, now's the time.
I think it'll be interesting to the public. I think it'll be interesting to the council, I hope. As you know, my name's Sheila Hatami. I'm an attorney here representing my parents and Siavash Hatami, who own property along Yellowbrook Road. I want to thank everyone who's worked hard on the master plan, and everyone I spoke with regarding the plan for Howell, specifically regarding Yellowbrook Road. I especially want to thank Councilwoman O'Donnell, again, for taking the time to speak with me about the potential development options for Yellowbrook Road. And Mrs. O'Donnell, I think we're very close on the SED2 zone.
That's good news.
My chief concern is that the inclusion of construction yard as a principal use is considered heavy industry and is more appropriately placed in the new SED1 zone. Unfortunately, there's an existing construction yard next to the R3 zone on Yellowbrook, and that ill-fitting use should be constrained to the 2 acres on which it is presently sitting, and not encouraged to expand to the full 12 acres next to the homes without any restrictions. We don't want to repeat what already many view as an earlier mistake. As you know, my parents and I have been here many years, and they plan to stay here. When they settled here, the area was very rural and had a mix of uses. In today's modern age, and in Howell's prime location between New York City and Philadelphia, it would be foolish to think that we could hide from development. But we can develop responsibly. Along with these ordinances, the town could consider changing some of the bulk requirements for SED zones here in Howell. Lot coverage is a significant 70%, whereas in other towns it is 65% or less. Again, I want to thank everyone. Participating in this process has been invaluable. I hope the town will consider my point and alter Ordinance O-2225 by removing construction yards as a principal use prior to enactment. And I hope to watch the town evolve and grow in a sustainable way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wade Carlton?
I think you said Coon. I'm here for the Turpac also.
Okay.
Any questions?
And Ken Haspes?
Here for water.
Okay, okay. So at this point, this time, I would accept a motion to accept the resolution on the consent agenda items.
We have to close public comment first, Mayor?
Yeah,
Yes,
we-
yes.
Can I make a motion to close public comment?
Second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So now the next 4 resolutions are to be voted on separately.
I'll make a motion to move Resolution R-22-2203.
I'll second that motion.
Roll call, Councilman Bonovich?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Richmond?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. Resolution R-22-204, may I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to move R-22-204.
I'll second.
Roll call, Councilman Bonovich?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Richmond?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. I'd like a motion for R-22-205.
Make the motion for Resolution 22-205.
Second?
Roll call, Councilman Bonovich?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Richmond?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. I'd like a motion for Resolution 22-201.
I'll make the resolution for R 22-201.
I'll second.
Roll call, Councilman Bonovich?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Richmond?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. Now we're just going to do one R 22-193 through R 22-200B. May I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve R 22-193 through and including R 22-200B.
A second.
Roll call, Councilman Bonovich?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Richmond?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. Okay, under unfinished business, we have public hearing and adoption of ordinances 0-22-11, an ordinance amending Article 10, Section 188-84.4, Moderate and Low-Income Housing Zone 14, or ML 14, of the revised general ordinances of the Township of Howell. I would like to open this up for discussion.
So for those of you who are here to discuss the TURPAC ordinances, now would be time to come up.
Matter which one, Mayor? No, it doesn't matter. Public comment for both, because they're kind of the same, right?
They're
I mean,
supposed
I
to be
don't
done
know.
individually.
Yeah, okay.
Is there no comment for this ordinance?
There's two of them.
There are two.
You're amending, you're amending,
Please, if you would please come to the mic and state your name and address.
you're, James Brower. You're amending the slope ordinance to 20% to coincide with what's already been approved for the other acreage in the past? Is that true?
So the 20% steep slope definition, our ordinance lacks a definition now. We're putting a standard on it to where any disturbance of steep slopes over 20% would technically require a variance. Anything below 20%, which matches the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection, DEP standard, that's what we're putting in place.
And this 20% is what the state recommends?
Correct, that's their definition.
Okay. And this has to do with, I don't know if I'm getting ahead of myself here, but this has to do with the West Farms property? Or is that the next,
Technically, the rezoning is, the inclusion of the additional properties on West Farms is the next ordinance.
Okay.
I don't know if we want to do public comment for both, kind of.
Well,
they're
I
connected.
mean,
they're kind of linked together, aren't they?
I agree.
They are linked, so I mean, if you have them, we'll obviously take them under consideration for the next ordinance.
Okay. Because I think there are people here tonight that would like to know, once these lots are included in the rest of the lots, where the access points will be.
I believe, Mr. Howard, you have
The layout.
a layout to show, right?
Conceptual plan or?
Yes.
Yes.
something
Yes.
that- Okay, thank you.
So.
They're up on the TVs, too.
Yep, it's up on the TVs and on the main screen. I'll try and orient you a little bit. The bottom of the map here, this is West Farms Road. The inclusion of the 5 lots that is being proposed under the ordinance 022-12 is in this portion here. This is where the access point will come in. This is the entire development. These are the affordable housing townhomes on this side. These lots represent where market rate single-family dwellings will be located. These are obviously the proposed roadways. And as we work our way north, just as a point of reference, Stewart Street is in this area. Turpac Road is here. You'll notice that there is no connection with this plan from the internal roadways of the development to either Stewart Street or Turpac Road. It is completely a connection through the site to the north for Casino Drive, which is up here. There are additional housing units here. These are single-family lots and townhomes. And then everything that you see that is checkered with no development on it, those are the wetlands. The wetlands lines are shown in darker gray, might be a little hard to see. There's also buffers put off those. The developer, and almost every developer these days, avoids environmentally sensitive areas. They avoid environmental regulations, they avoid DEP permits. That's the intention that we believe for this developer, that they're not going to disturb any wetlands. In the ordinance, there is a requirement for the developer to receive what's called a letter of interpretation, an LOI, that will delineate the exact location of the wetlands, legally verify their location, as well as legally verify the buffers that are associated with those, because there's different buffers in different situations. That is what the developer's going to have to follow, and they're going to have to avoid all of those areas as they put their plan together and as they come for development.
Mr. Howard, may I ask a question regarding this for the residents to get a better look? Is this going to be up on the website in case they want to obtain a copy or just look at it themselves?
We could put this up on the website. We could do that first thing in the morning.
Great.
If anybody wants a digital copy, I can also email it to them.
Okay, so you can reach out to Mr. Howard on the website, or, yeah? You can come up.
Yeah, could you go back to Turpac for a second? How close will, that looks like it's a cul-de-sac, right?
Correct.
Okay. So is there going to be a home between the cul-de-sac and Turpac?
No, so
Because most of the homes on Turpac in that area are set quite a distance back.
this lot here, 1 and 2, this is where single-family lots are. This is I don't want to say open space, but they do have denoted a basin. There's buffers here as well. This dotted line is a 50-foot buffer that's required by the ordinance. This generally looks like it's going to be undeveloped portion with the development in these lots. There could be emergency egress for the fire bureau, fire department only. Our fire bureau will give comments to that effect during their site plan review. That's the only type of access, if any, in this location. And also, just as a note, these are conceptual plans, so what you're seeing is not 100% final.
But most likely, no home will be any closer than existing home today on Turpac, on that side.
I'm not sure I follow the question.
The homes that are there today are set back, I'm going to say roughly 80 feet to 100 feet. So you think,
I don't believe that this cul-de-sac is within 100 feet of Turpac Road, nor the development. I can't confirm fully, but what you're seeing here in these dotted lines, this is 50 feet. So
okay, so
if you're talking,
it's probably a good 100 foot back.
yeah,
And, okay, so that frontage, I think it's about 170 feet, or I'm sorry, 126, maybe, something like that. But the only disturbance they might do would be for fire protection. Access.
it would be some type of connection if the fire bureau deems it necessary.
Okay. And this is probably this is going to go to the planning board.
Correct. What we're approving or reviewing tonight in terms of ordinances, putting up for a vote, is changing the laws and the policies around this ordinance. It is not approving development.
Right.
There will be a full subdivision plan where they're going to have a plan like this, but much more detailed, everything about utilities, landscaping, lighting. The full-on subdivision plan will be presented to the planning board, and anybody that's in this room that's gotten a notice tonight for the ordinances will also get a notice for that hearing, because that means you're within 200 feet of the proposed development.
Drainage is going to be considered.
Drainage will absolutely be considered. Stormwater, yes. So there's just shown areas where basins can be, but they will do a full detailed design and review of that.
But the developer will be responsible for like putting up berms to protect the existing neighbors.
Correct.
It's like a mountain there now, so whatever runs come off of this is going to affect everybody along.
The stormwater rules state that your development has to stay on your site. Your stormwater has to stay on your site. And that's the burden they have to meet when they come to the planning board and prove that through their application.
There's some pretty high elevations there, especially with the back part with the swamp.
This is Howell Mountain, absolutely.
Yeah.
You're right.
Mr. Howard, can you explain to them the plan that we first seen, the major difference in 2018 to this?
So the first plan that we saw in the very beginning wasn't very detailed. We did ask them if we were to remove the development from these extra lots, what that would result in. That's ultimately this plan here. So as you can see, just orient again, the bottom of the page is still West Farms Road. These are the several lots that are being proposed to be included. If we took the development out of there, the total number of units and the total percentage set aside is not changing. They have to put those units somewhere else. based on the massive amount of wetlands and steep slopes and different areas that aren't buildable on this site, they would have to go into a higher density in the areas that are buildable. What that's going to lead to is a massive change to the plan. There's less single-family lots. The townhomes, there's more townhomes. As you can see, they're located more in the center of the site, and they have to actually
And
use
the-
more steep slope
And
area.
the old plan had access to Stewart.
So that's the big
Turpac.
change. Right here, you can see that there's no way to do this with a fully contained development to the main roads. They would have to put a road out onto Stewart Street and Turpac Road. Without the access onto West Farms especially, there would be a connection from Turpac here in the area that we were looking at, the cul-de-sac. It would be a big difference and a bigger impact to the existing residential area.
Okay, thank you.
But this is the plan that's not,
Correct.
Please come up to the microphone so everybody could hear you. Thank you.
the plan you just showed the public is the plan that's not going.
That's what I wanted to clarify. There's a huge difference as far as
Correct.
ingress and egress and where the exits are. Stewart Street's not gonna have extra traffic, Turpac, that's why I wanted to like let
The
know.
plan showing the connection through the neighborhood is if we did not include the additional lots to better space out the development.
The second, the new plan is.
The plan that's up right now, so.
Oh, okay. No,
Yeah,
that's-
this is the one without the development along West Farms Road,
Right.
and there's more units that has to get put into the center of the site.
Right, but this isn't as desirable as the original plan
Correct.
that you showed.
Correct.
The first one. Okay. And where on the website will it be available?
We'll put an announcement, we'll put an announcement up. I'm not
You
exactly.
send an alert, can you put an
Yeah.
alert out?
Yeah, that's what we'll do. So if you sign up for the alerts where if you get a text message or an email when a new announcement's put up, I'm not 100% sure where we're going to put it.
Mr. Clark, will Turpac, will they allow us to pass an ordinance to not allow access to Stewart and Turpac?
So they agreed. So part of their proposal, as you can see between where they have to build on more steep slopes and the other where they don't, yeah, it's sort of a, so we asked them, would they be willing to do that? And, you know, we all sort of anticipated that type of issue arising. I mean, they say one thing and then, you know, it comes along and then, oh, wonder wonders, we have roads where they said they wouldn't. So the short of it is, yes, they will agree, and we will introduce an ordinance at our next meeting, you know, to amend the zone again to prohibit ingress egress off of Turpac and Stewart. So the reason it wasn't introduced contemporaneously with these was, I think they were afraid that there would be a situation where the ingress egress would be prohibited and the other two ordinances wouldn't pass. And so,
Great,
Right.
thank you.
right.
Does anybody else in the audience want to come up to discuss Turpac?
It says on here about low income. I don't know if that's in this whole part of the development zoning here.
So that's where the affordable portion is.
Yeah, so this is an affordable housing site. This was rezoned for affordable housing, so a certain percentage set aside will be for low, moderate, ultra low, moderate income. And then to develop that, usually the plans also include a market rate component. So that's what you're seeing is a certain amount of market rate units and then a set aside for an affordable housing component.
Has anybody ever thought about the green space, open space? Because they're building everywhere.
So I can talk to that a little bit. And actually, with the plan, the first plan that Mr. Howard showed you, where there's development down in the added parcels, there's actually a greater percentage of the entirety of the space preserved. It'll be dedicated to the town either by deed or just conserved as open space. Whereas if they have to build on slopes greater than 20%, there's going to be less preserved space.
Well, from the way it looks on this print, I mean, your layout, where the houses are going off of, from the edge of Turpac, where it's a cul-de-sac, where it's not going in there, that's a steep grade. I don't see how you're gonna put all those houses in that little spot. I mean, and keep it to the same, we all have 2 acres over there minimum. A lot of people have 10, 15, and this is,
The developers made it known that they can build the site. So there is definitely topographical issues.
well,
That's
yeah,
why
you
we're here
can
on the
stack
slopes.
anything on top of one in there, but, I mean, it's not the same issue in the area. The neighborhood isn't like that. You're taking something that's mass quantity, where we have open space now. It's not there no more. I mean, I'm not saying it's not my property, they can build on it, but, man, that's a lot of houses. It's a lot of traffic. That's my thing about the whole
Well,
development that we're putting
with
in
the
here.
ingress egress at the 2 points, as opposed to through the residential areas, the developer's also going to have to provide a traffic study. There's some issues with the traffic light on West Farm, so depending on their traffic contribution in terms of the burden on the roads, they're going to have to pay a portion of the light as well, so the traffic study will demonstrate what that is. But I get what you're saying about the retaining walls and all of that. It's a function of our affordable housing obligation that the state imposes on the towns. I mean, we do have a 30% set aside here, which is typically unheard of with developers. And to make up the number of units, if we say we were to lose this, we say you can't develop it, the court's going to force us to go and find other sites for affordable housing. There's 180-something units in here. And that's going to take probably 5 or 6 other developments throughout the town. So we have a lot of our affordable obligation in one spot with what we think is a better plan because of the limited ingress egress. So it's a balance like anything else.
I just wish you guys would think about the green open space.
Agreed, and we are. In preparation for the next round of COA, we're giving a lot of thought to potential defenses and things like that.
Is there anyone else that wants to come up to speak about these two ordinances, 22-11 and 22-12? Please come up.
Hi, Patrice Cricky, Turpac Road. It's probably premature, but it's the first time I'm seeing this, and I understand nothing is written in stone yet. Is this the plan going ahead? Is this for sure the plan?
Mr. Howard?
This is still a conceptual phase, so this is generally the plan. Can we say it's going to be 100% accurate? No. They still have to do their design work. Part of the reason for these changes is they started their design work and saw issues that needed to be addressed that weren't considered when the ordinance was first passed. So we think this is the final change that we're going to need other than codifying the roadway restriction, but we don't expect any more design changes to impact the ordinance. Will it change slightly? It could. The buildings could be slightly moved based on site conditions.
Okay, and again, I'm looking forward to seeing it tomorrow because I'm like, it's a bunch of
Understood,
scribbles.
yeah.
But the access now is on West Farms, west of Turpac? I mean, east of
Turpac, correct.
Okay, my thinking
Yeah.
when I spoke to you on the phone was it was going to be west of them. Like, how are they going to get?
No, yeah, so
Okay.
Turpac Road is roughly on the edge of the development here, and then
Okay.
yeah.
So there's only that one entrance for the entire development?
No, it'll connect through to Casino on the other side, so there'll be another entrance
Oh,
here.
okay,
Yeah, so
okay.
it's a through connection.
Okay, I didn't see that at all. And I know we spoke about this briefly as well, and you don't know yet because it is pending the fire board, but where conceptually are you planning on that access being?
We're not, and I'm not. The Fire Bureau would have to give comments. I think the most logical place is probably in this area of the cul-de-sac off of Turpac Road, but I don't know their rules, and they might not need it, or they might prefer it somewhere else. They would provide comments when the full subdivision is submitted, and the planning board would work with them to make sure they have access.
When we get this, I'm going to ask you to email to me, but when we
Sure.
get it online, is there a key telling us what each thing is?
In terms
Like
of,
which is townhouses, which are homes?
There are notes,
which
yes.
is- There are, okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. If there's no one else that wants to come up to speak about these two ordinances, I would like to close this portion of open comment, and I would like a motion for 0-22-11, an ordinance amending Article 10, Section 188-84.4, moderate and low-income housing zone 14, ML 14, of the revised general ordinances of the Township of Howell.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 22-11.
I'll second.
Roll call, Councilman Bonovich,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brennan,
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Donnell,
Yes?
Deputy Mayor Richmond?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. May I have a motion for ordinance 0-22-12, an ordinance amending Article 10, Section 188-84.4, moderate and low-income housing zone 14, or ML 14, of the revised general ordinances of the Township of Howell.
I'll make a motion to move ordinance O-22-12.
A second?
Roll call, Councilman Bonovich?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Richmond?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. I would like to open for public hearing on ordinance 0-22-13, an ordinance amending Chapter 139, Article 2, Section 2, subsection A3, entitled License, Registration, and Permit Fees of the revised general ordinances of the Township of Howell. Does anybody want to come up to talk about this ordinance? Seeing no one, I would like to close this portion. May I have a motion?
I'll make the motion for ordinance 22-13.
Second?
Roll call, Councilman Bonovich?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Richmond?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. I'd like to open public hearing for ordinance 0-2214, an ordinance of the Township of Howell amending Chapter 139, Article 27, shooting range use, Section 79, use by outside agencies of the revised general ordinances of the Township of Howell. Would anybody like to come up to speak about this?
This range is on 33, or is it by the recycling center?
I believe there's only one by the recycling center. I
Yeah,
hear
this
it
is the
every day,
police,
Okay,
yeah.
all day.
because we actually hear the shooting over in the villages, but I know people who live.
You don't hear it as good as I do, Barbara.
Oh, I know, I can tell you this, yes, I know you do. I'm sure.
I tell the time of day.
So that's why we're doubling the fee, right?
I know elderly residents who live along Brickyard and along, around from Brickyard, and they can't sleep, they can't live, they can't nothing because the range goes at all hours of the day and night. Is there
It
any?
stops, I think, at 11. Is it 10 or 11?
I think it's 10. 10?
Is there any way that the hours, especially in the evening, like after dinner or whatever, I mean, people need to have some peace, live some resemblance of a normal life?
I hate to say this out loud, but I don't even hear it anymore. Seriously, I'm immune to it.
They call me and say, damn the range, you know?
Would they have to call the police?
Yeah, I
I would
guess,
say
I
you
don't
have
know,
to-
Mr. Clark, how would you like to?
Yeah, I think the range rules are established by the police, and, I mean, I don't know all the ins and outs of their qualifications, but I do think that they have some night qualifications that they have to meet, and our range is typically very busy because we have a lot of shared service agreements with other outside agencies, so.
If outside agencies have no other time to come in here after all our guys are done, and they have to do this at night to disturb everybody, that ain't fair.
This is not new. This is not a new process. It's just an additional township that wants to utilize our service and pay us for it.
This is just an increase of the fees, really.
Yeah.
It's really-
Pay us for is wonderful. You know what? There's such a thing as quality of life.
Our PD gives us that, I think.
Excuse me?
I said our PD gives us that.
It gives you that, but the people who come into the range don't.
Yeah.
It is unusual, Mrs. Dixell, but we have the shooting range, we have McGuire that shakes my windows, we have, the racetrack that I hear all summer. It's just, I guess it's community noises that, and I agree with the mayor that after a while, it's hard to actually know that you're listening to it, but
I know we're rural. I know we're very rural and very countrified, and a lot of these things take place. I understand it. But the older we get, the less able we are to hear this going on at all hours and bang, bang at all hours of the night.
they do shoot at night, but they do stop about 10 o'clock. And our officers also have to qualify at night in order to maintain,
Night
a
vision.
good, their efficiency and to keep us safe. So there are some things that come into play with this.
All right, I think the outside agencies that have to come in here and use this range need to be told and given very direct rules and orders that they are not to disturb the public and the people who live here. All us people are elderly. Listen, I'm 82, and my friend is 86. And boy, let me tell you, the older we get, the less able we are to take it, okay?
I absolutely respect what you're saying, Barbara. And we can talk to PD and see if there's any way that can make any changes. But again, that's up to the usage and if we need
for
to utilize it.
My friend on Brickyard is worse because she's on the edge of Earl besides.
Well, so,
You know, so again,
did she complain to Earl? I'm just being silly.
I don't know. All I know is they have to think of just giving us more respect and more respect as far as.
I don't believe in my heart that anybody is doing it to be
No,
disrespectful.
I'm not, but just the hours, a little bit, shave a little bit off the hours. And especially the outside agencies who only can come when they can come. All right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Is there anyone else that would like to talk about this ordinance? We're still on 14,
We're still, I
right?
was just going to say that, we're still on 14.
May I have a motion for 0-22-14, an ordinance of the Township of Howell amending Chapter 139, Article 27, shooting range use, Section 79, by the outside agencies of the revised general ordinances of the Township of Howell?
Make the motion for ordinance 22-14.
I'll second.
Roll call, Councilman Bonovich?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Yes?
Deputy Mayor Richmond?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. 0-22-15, an ordinance of the Township of Howell, County of Monmouth, State of New Jersey, establishing Article 4 entitled Canvassing and Soliciting for Real Estate within Chapter 223 of the Township Code entitled Peddling and Soliciting. I would like to open this up for discussion and public hearing.
How are you going to enforce it? How is this going to work? I picked up at the clerk's office last week a stack of applications for villages residents to fill out to get registered on the no solicitation, no knock list, and to bring back to the township so they can get the sticker to put on the door. They haven't done it yet, so I don't know what's going on with that. But how is this going to work with the residents? There's a form, right? I mean, Allison, there is a form.
Yes, there's the application for the do not knock sticker and to have your address placed on the registry. That is, it is given to people who do get their peddler and solicitor license, and
Well,
so-
any residents can come into the clerk's office also and ask for an application. And do it.
Absolutely.
So that should be made very public, that people, residents who are being bombarded and bothered by people who are coming to their door and saying, "No, I have $300,000 in my hand, I'm going to buy your house." That the residents of the township need a real, on the Howell Alerts or public out newspaper, they need to know that this application exists.
Well,
I know
I
you-
also think that if that does happen, someone should then contact the township and let the township know that X person came to my house soliciting to purchase, can you please follow up?
But I just
Is
want.
that correct, Mr. Clark?
That's correct, and there's an enforcement mechanism for this particular provision through the police as well. So, there's, ample opportunity for people to register on the do not knock. It's been discussed multiple times since I've been here. I know it's on the website. The applications are available. We're going to update the registry so that it's updated weekly, so the information is current. And if people have a problem with it, they can call the clerk and report the violation. They can call the police if it's the,
Is there any way to put a copy of the application on your website?
I think it is.
Well, I went
It
to
is.
the clerk's office and got a stack of them. I didn't take it off the website, but people need to know, from the council, need to know tonight, needs to be said publicly. Come in to the clerk's office, come into the township, get the application, fill it out, give it back to them, get registered, and get the no-knock sticker.
Barbara, if I may, I remember at the last meeting, Councilman Bonovich had requested an alert be sent out, and immediately the next day, our clerk sent an alert out with the attachment for the application. So I don't know if you get text messages.
I didn't get that.
Okay, well, that was there, and I think, because we got a lot of good responses, and thank you, Councilman Bonovich, for that, because that was immediately the next day.
But I did go into your clerk's office, and they gave me a stack of applications that the village just hasn't taken care of yet, and, because I told them I would do that, get the people to come in and fill them out. I will bring them back to the township, and I will get them registered and bring the stickers back. So, they haven't done it yet, so I don't.
Just so everyone's made aware, when on our website, when a notification is sent via text, it also gets posted to the homepage.
Right.
So it goes in both spots, so it's not hidden. So that, when Allison sent that out, on her own, really,
Sorry.
and she sent it out, and it gets posted to the homepage. So if you went on the website today, it's still on that first page. A couple months down the road, there's going to be other notices that come up first.
I'm just glad it is, and people should not be fearful and should take every precaution they can take, because you've got the protection, they should do it.
We agree.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. This is badly needed. Thank you.
May I have a motion for ordinance 22-15?
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance O-22-15.
I'll second.
Roll call, Councilman Bonovich?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Richmond?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. Ordinance 0-22-16, an ordinance of the Township of Howell amending Chapter 252, Article 2, Sewer Utility, Section 20, entitled Connection of Existing Facilities to Public Sewer Required, time limit of the revised general ordinances of the Township of Howell. I would open this portion for public hearing.
Mr. Harper, is this where you wanted to come up and speak? No. Okay. Okay. I just wanted to make sure, sorry.
They're kind of the same issues.
Yep. The other Freewood Acres sewer, Mr. Clark?
Do you,
Yeah, 16 and 17
Could
are
he
both
come up if you
related.
want?
Yeah, sure. I
Yeah.
mean, it's, if you generally want to discuss either of the ordinances, you can come up now and, please let us know what you
All
have
right.
to say.
James Harper, 154 West 3rd Street. So, my first question is, I guess I don't see any changes in the ordinance for the water?
Not from the introduction, no.
Okay. So, I guess then, I want to know, why are you guys so vested in forcing people into hooking up to the water? I mean, so much that you're literally threatening us with penalties and
So
fines.
when the water company came in to put in all of that, one of the requirements was that we pass an ordinance requiring everybody
That was
to connect.
2014, correct?
Right, so it's a while ago.
Yeah.
Since then, with
So
COVID,
you
we've,
guys could get a $1.4 million cut.
right, well, we've
Well,
had
that's what that was for. I have
listen,
paperwork.
we've had various extensions since then. Obviously, we can't do infrastructure without, participation by the townspeople. So the must connect exists. We've gotten another extension from New Jersey American
So am
Water.
I wrong
We're
you guys-
extending,
So am I wrong that you guys were saving $1.4 million
As opposed to doing it ourselves? Yeah, of course. I mean, I can confirm that with the CFO, but if we can have a private entity do it as opposed to us doing it, you're still going to be required to connect.
Why? You guys, I got a well. I came down here in 2016, 2014, you guys passed that, correct?
I don't recall when it was passed.
You just
That
said-
predates me, so.
So it was 2014 that was passed. 2016, I came down to put a new well in my house. There's never a mention of it. I spent $10,000 on a well. Now you want me to hook up to your water. I don't want it. You even admitted you didn't want it yes, you did.
I
Last
know, I
meeting.
don't want it.
Oh, I know you don't. So how would you feel if you were being forced? And then being told that if you don't force, we're going to charge you with, that's theft of service.
Mr. Harper, if I may,
Sure.
and I know, I don't know if it was your wife that was here with
Yep.
a couple of your residents, and I think we collectively had talked about extending this and doing some more research in this.
We are extending it one more year, and
Well, he's saying that that's going to be.
That's Mr. Clark, by the way.
Okay. I'm not on first name or last name basis with anybody. So Mr. Clark over there said that this is happening.
As of right now.
As of right now, but.
We have a year to look into whether or not
Where-
there
where-
are other
That's
Which
plans
we
we
are.
can do.
You said it
That's-
was happening regardless.
Right now, with this ordinance passing, it's setting a deadline by which it has to happen, but we've changed it right now with this, right? And if something comes up in the next year, we can change it again.
I think something needs to come up
We are.
now.
So,
Mr. Harper, today, we're extending it one more year. I know you had a problem with it. You had a problem with it since you moved in 2016. Last year,
I moved in 2005.
2005, whatever. I thought
He got
you
a
said
new well in
2000, the well.
2016,
All right.
right.
So it expired. We got a 1-year extension. Now we have a 2-year extension. What we're trying to say is between now and next year, we're looking down some avenues. Maybe there is a water quality test or something like that for you. We don't know. We need time to do our homework.
That would be unacceptable too. I don't need a water quality test.
Well,
The first 13 years I owned my house, there was never a water test I had to have. I had a shallow well that went orange all the time. None of yous ever required me to come test
Right.
my water, so that's going to be unacceptable
right,
as well.
right now, you have the 1-year extension, and we'll look for ways to help you.
Okay. So I just don't understand, though, why it's not being done quicker. I mean, you understand that there's a lot of people that you guys passed wells in the whole neighborhood. There's a lot of people who you pass wells to for brand-new wells. Septics, too, really, when you really think about it, but septics is a moot point. And from everything I read, you guys need a court hearing to be able to force us an ordinance on us for water. Sewer's a different issue. But for water, from what I looked up and read, you guys actually need a court hearing for that. It's not just you put an ordinance in and then that's it. So you might want to look into that
Okay.
as well.
Mr. Clark?
I'll look into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have the paperwork here.
Could you share that with Mr. Clark, Mr. Harper, please? Mr. Harper, and like Mr. Councilman Bonovich said, we're using this time to be able to work with the residents. We're not really shoving anything down your throat. We're just trying to buy some time to do it, because you
Well,
keep
then-
saying new people, but, you know, some of us have only been here for a little bit of time, so to be
And I
fair to us,
understand that, but then there shouldn't, your ordinance that you're voting on tonight
yeah.
should not
No.
say that by 2023 I have to force. It
That's not
should
what
say-
it's saying.
It's 100% what it says. I can grab the
We have to
ordinance
make
right now.
this extension tonight, sir, so
I under-
that the
I understand
original
that, ma'am.
deadline is not, you know,
I
in
understand
effect.
everything you're saying, but what you're not understanding is that it still states on that if it's not done by April 23rd, I believe, of 2023, that we're gonna start getting charged and penalized for
But
it.
it doesn't mean we can't change, amend the ordinance.
But it should have been changed to, that you guys
To
are
what?
looking into it.
Well, we're hopeful that we can extend this further in anticipation that we can do something by making sure that all the wells that are in place are healthy. But I can assure you, without any doubt whatsoever, that in the past, at the other municipal building, before we moved here, we would have residents from Freewood Acres coming in tears.
For the sewer.
Because they could not use their wells, because
Yep.
the sewers were bad and were leaching into the wells.
Sure.
So we're trying very hard to maintain a healthy environment, and we keep extending the deadline hoping that something else can come along and that possibly this won't happen.
Understood.
But due
And I'm not
diligence is
saying-
taking
and I want
place.
to make it clear, I'm not saying that the water line that went in was being opposed. That's fine. There are many people in that neighborhood who need water.
Right.
There's no doubt about it. Now, I'll be honest with you, in 2016, if that line was in there, I would have gingerly hooked up to it. But now that I just paid $10,000 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I'm opposed to it. I have paperwork at home that says my water is 100% clean drinking water.
And your
And
wife,
you are
she
the
said that.
reason why we
And I
keep
do not want
extending.
this
and
water
Yeah.
from American Water. I shouldn't even have an added cost to it. I didn't ask for the water to go in. My family fought to get the sewer fixed. We didn't fight for an infrastructure to go in throughout the neighborhood. Although needed, again, it was needed. We wanted the smell to go away. Okay? That's what we fought for. All that had to be done minimally was a lateral pipe put in. It's called the Freewood Acres Sewage Project. Where the water line got thrown in and why we're being forced is a whole nother issue.
And we're listening to you, and your wife and just a couple of your neighbors came up, and we're
And
listening.
we're trying to, and I'll be honest with you, we're trying to do this small, just a couple of us right now fighting, but I could go rally up some more neighbors. I mean, I don't want to have to do that, but
Please don't.
honestly,
Please
we
don't.
will. That's how far we're willing to take it.
We hear you, and we are trying to come up with a solution that's amicable.
Jersey, sewer can be forced, water cannot, down where the asterisks are.
I respect your position.
Thank you.
I think, yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Mayor and Council Barbara Dixell, you're telling these people that they have to have a must hookup date or they're going to get charged afterwards. It is my opinion that you pull the ordinance. Do not vote on this tonight. They don't deserve this. You're punching them in the face. They don't deserve it. And
So-
you don't have the right to do it.
I just want to explain, we are extending a date. The only way to change that date
And not punish.
is for us to vote on it.
Extend it. to
So
time.
if we don't vote to extend the date, then they're stuck with the date that it is today.
An earlier date, a previous.
Just to confirm, right, May 1st, 2022 is the first must connect. If we don't pass this, then ultimately.
Everybody's in
everyone's
non-compliance.
Right, and they're getting billed soon.
So
I
this is
wouldn't
actually,
recommend that.
this is,
Helping the residents.
Fine.
we're pushing it forward.
You need to go back to the drawing board. The people don't deserve it.
That's what we're saying, Barbara.
They don't deserve it.
I respect that, Barbara.
Thank you.
May I have,
Someone else?
what, is there
Yeah,
anyone?
I think so.
Please, I'm sorry.
Kenneth Harper, 156 West 3rd Street. I started the whole sewer thing in 2004.
Could you move the microphone? Please, thank you.
I started the whole sewer thing in 2004 with coming down here and fighting. Took me 14 years, 3 mayors, to finally get something done about it. They still haven't fixed the problem. The sewers are still an issue. That's one. The town never helped me. Mercer Sewer Authority helped us. I'm going to get past that. The water, I've taken 2 samples of American water and had them test it. Both failed. Both failed. 2 separate locations, North Howell, Southern Howell, both failed. When I did my well back in 2008, I had city water within 100 feet of my house. And Howell Township told me, no, I can't hook to it. Dig a well. Okay, so now here we are, these years later, and now I know I understand it's an extension, but this is just my argument towards later on for you guys. We were told no by Howell, we couldn't hook to it. And we put a well in. Many of the neighbors put wells in that were all within 100 feet of that. One guy, his water hookups within 20 feet of it and had to dig a well. Would not let us hook to it, but now they want to force everybody to hook up to it. That was the, that part. Water failings. My other question was for you. It has to do with water and sewer, so you have to give me a second. The property on Sunnyside and Four Plains Road, that project. It's
FP
the,
Howell? FP Howell?
it's like
FP
300
Howell?
homes
Yeah,
or whatever.
FP Howell,
Has
yeah.
it been approved yet?
Yes, I received planning board approval.
When was it approved?
I don't have the date off the top of
You're
my head,
rough.
few months ago.
A few months ago. Can I ask you a question? How come American Water and the sewer company ran all the utilities into that property before it was even approved?
I can't speak to that.
Because if they didn't have approval to build, how did they put utilities on that property? And I know they did, because I have the format of the property. They ran it down West 5th Street, 300 feet into that property. That property has water and sewer sitting on it through the Freewood Acre Sewer project, which we paid for. Essentially, we're paying for that. That was one. Two, even if this does go through in a year, right? They want to charge us for the availability of water in front of our houses, a fee if we don't hook up, and fine us for that. That's like their fine. How many times are they going to charge the taxpayer for the availability of water? The fire department pays for the availability of water to run down every one of those streets per hydrant, totaling in District 5, $88,000 a year if we use a drop of water or not for availability of water to run. Now you're going to make each homeowner pay again? That's the taxpayer paying twice. That's not right. Now, the fire department doesn't pay per gallon. They can use 1 million gallons or 0 for the year, and it's $88,000 a year for District 5, and it's $130,000 a year for District 3 for the availability of water to American Water. So if we don't get a fire in those two districts, they break in over 200 grand for nothing. How many times are we going to charge the taxpayer?
Have you asked that question on New Jersey American Water? I mean, it sounds like it's their fee structure, it's their fees. I don't think the council here has the answer to those questions.
No, I haven't talked to
I do think, though, that the question is a valid question. If they didn't have approvals to
Right,
build.
I just think New Jersey American Water and their fee structure is the one to answer it.
Well, that's
And
something.
with the availability
Well, let me
fee
ask-
and
let me ask you a
usage
question.
charges.
Before I just mentioned that, did you guys know the fire departments pay for the availability of water throughout the whole town, everywhere there's
I know there's a
American water
charge,
pipe?
absolutely.
Huh?
I know there's a charge.
Yes,
So,
Yes.
but how many taxpayers know that they already pay for that?
not many.
Well, everyone pays for their fire, in their fire districts on their tax bill. So I would
Yes.
think everyone is aware.
Yeah, but they're not aware that they're paying per hydrant for the availability of water. Now, mind you, that is not for usage of water, it's the availability of water. It's not a maintenance fee, it's nothing else. So then you're also gonna charge those same people $18 a month, let's say, for the availability of water in front of their house again. They're paying for the same thing twice. They're paying for it in a tax, and now they're paying for it in a penalty. Hey, it's not right. I mean, no matter what way you talk about it, American Water I won't even deal with. That was the other thing. A simple Google search for you guys to just go home and do. Google search American Water and lawsuits in North Jersey for contaminated water. And all the contaminations that they failed for are the same ones I got back on my test. And there's huge lawsuits in North Jersey over it. American Water's not a good company. They will never come into my house. And I don't care if it's mandatory, you want to put me in jail, you ain't putting a pipe to my house. I don't want the water, it's no good. So, it's not really an argument with you guys, I'm just giving you more to sit back and think
No,
about.
it's good information. It's good information.
Well, I honestly would like further investigation regarding the property, water and sewer going into the property without it being fully approved yet.
That was a very good question of mine, how, and.
So I think I think that's a very important question, and I would like that for our next council meeting under unfinished business. Additionally, I would like to maybe have the water tested. Can we mandate that American Water test their water?
They do
Well,
test
they
their
do it.
water. That's the problem.
I think the
But-
BPU probably already does
Independent.
that.
Yeah, yes, they do, and I've already discussed with them how they test it. They test it at the source, not after it goes through millions of miles of pipe.
Right.
So do before and not after.
Not from the tap.
Now, when we test When you test my well, it's not done that way.
Right,
My well's tested at all the taps to make
Right.
sure there's no contamination in the house, all that.
right.
Nothing after.
All they have to do is give you clean water right from their source, and that's it. No matter what comes down that line, lead, chlorine, projects that are getting done, if there's a pipe broke, all that pumps into your house, that's not their problem. It's only clean water from the
Is
source.
that something that our contract could address?
No, and we're getting so far afield here, I mean.
I'm sorry. It was just
You know,
interesting.
in terms of the ordinances, these are to extend the deadlines. I
Right.
mean, if.
You're correct.
If you'd rather and not have, I mean, the deadlines exist right now, so these are to extend it. These are all valid, interesting issues that you're bringing up.
I explained that in the beginning, I
And-
just said I was giving them more to think about.
Yeah,
I
so-
understood it was an extension, I just
So,
said
yeah,
I was giving them
and
some
we're
more.
well past the 5-minute mark as well,
It's my
so.
fault, I'm sorry.
All time I need.
Would you mind emailing the governing body that, and then we could address it with the professionals?
Do you want me to, everything I explained?
You can just
write it
screenshot
down?
that and send it, or however you want to do it.
That's fine.
All right?
Doesn't bother me.
Thank you.
Thank you. I got it, though.
I can watch back the meeting, too.
You all laugh if you want to. You go drink American water. American water in 2005 was sold to RWE in Germany. A guy by the name of Abe Maggot gave me the website in Germany. It was never on the American website. I printed off that much. By 2005 or 6, RWE realized that they bought a disgusting company, and they dumped them. And Food and Water Watch is the industry magazine for water. They said that it will take American water 200 years to update and fix their infrastructure. So they dumped them, they came back to the United States. When Helene Schlegel was the manager, we went to a meeting and they did an IPO on the New York, and they're now a fully owned company by their investors. However, I'm going to tell you something. I have a whole house filter. I wouldn't dare drink American water from my house.
So I just want to say that this is very far afield from the topic of the ordinances. I appreciate the concern that Ms. Dixell has, but two things. First, our policy is very clear that you get to come up once. So here's your second time. And secondly, it's for the ordinances, not about the quality of water.
You got trihalomethanes, you better look at them. My trihalomethanes were in the 60s and 70s for my kitchen and bathroom. They should be no more than the 20s and 30s. And I used to have precision analytical testing. I used to pay them $350 a year, a couple of times a year, to come in and test my water. And I beg people in the villages, I beg people everywhere in Howell, go out and buy a pure water filter or Brita. I don't care what it is. Because the American water is not quality water. You need to
Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you, Barbara.
go drink it. Go invest in a whole house filter. It's the best thing you can do.
May I have a motion for 0-22-16?
Can I make a motion to close public comment, Mayor? Up for that? Can we close that one, or?
You don't have to.
Oh, okay, just wanted to,
Sorry,
I'm sorry, no, I. just
may I have a
anxious.
motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance O-22-16.
I'll second.
Councilman Bonovich?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Richmond?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. Ordinance 22-17, an ordinance of the Township of Howell amending Chapter 252, Article 3, Water Service and Freehold Acres, Section 23, entitled Connection of Existing Facilities to Public Water Required, time limit of the revised general ordinances of the Township of Howell. I would open this portion for public comment. Seeing none, I will close. May I have a motion for 0-22-17?
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance O-22-17.
I'll second.
Roll call, Councilman Bonovich?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Richmond?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. Ordinance 22-18, an ordinance of the Township of Howell amending Chapter 223, Article 3, Section 22 of the Revised General Ordinances of the Township of Howell. I will open this for public hearing.
Introductions there.
Oh,
I'll make a motion to introduce
I was on a roll.
022-18.
Second.
Roll call, Councilman Bonovich?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Richmond?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. Ordinance 22-19, an ordinance setting forth and amending and supplementing the salary range schedule for the salaries of certain officers and employees of the Township of Howell.
I'll make a motion to introduce 0-22-19.
Second.
Roll call, Councilman Bonovich?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Richmond?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. Ordinance 0-22-20 has been removed from the agenda. 0-22-21, an ordinance amending Chapter 188 Land Use, Article 1, Title, Purpose, Definitions, Section 4, entitled Definitions and Rules of General Applicability of the Revised General Ordinances of the Township of Howell. May I have a motion?
I'll make the motion for ordinance 22-21.
Second?
Councilman Bonovich?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Richmond?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. Ordinance 0-22-22, an ordinance of the Township of Howell supplementing Chapter 188, Article 11, conditional uses, adding conditions for warehousing, distribution, car washes, churches, synagogues, and other places of worship, automobile repair services and auto body, trade, contractor business, landscape business, and schools.
I'll make a motion to introduce 0-22-22.
Second?
Roll call, Councilman Bonovich?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Richmond?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. Ordinance 22-23, an ordinance of the Township of Howell supplementing Chapter 188, Article 10 zones, supplementing and modifying Section 188-79.1 entitled Special Economic Development 1, or SED 1 Zone.
I'll make a motion to move ordinance 0-22-23.
Second.
Roll call, Councilman Bonovich?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Richmond?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. Ordinance 22-24, ordinance of the Township of Howell changing the zoning of certain properties within the Township of Howell to zoning designation Special Economic Development 1, or SED-1.
I'll make a motion to introduce ordinance O-22-24.
I'll second that motion.
Roll call, Councilman Bonovich?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Richmond?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. Ordinance 22-25, an ordinance of the Township of Howell supplementing Chapter 188, Article 10 zones, adding new section 188-79.2 entitled Special Economic Development 2, or SED2 Zone.
I'll make a motion to introduce ordinance O-22-25.
A second.
Roll call, Councilman Bonovich?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Richmond?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. Ordinance 0-22-26, an ordinance of the Township of Howell changing the zoning of certain properties within the Township of Howell to zoning designation Special Economic Development 2, or SED2.
I'll
Make
make
a
a
motion, I'm
go ahead.
sorry. A motion to introduce 0-22-26.
Second?
Roll call, Councilman Bonovich?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Richmond?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. Ordinance 0-22-27, an ordinance of the Township of Howell overlaying the zoning of certain properties within the Township of Howell to include the zoning designation Special Economic Development 2, or SED2 overlay.
I'll make a motion to move ordinance 0-22-27. Second?
Councilman Bonovich?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Richmond?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. Ordinance 22-28, an ordinance of the Township of Howell supplementing Chapter 188, Article 10 zones, adding new section 188-78.3 entitled Highway Development 4, or HD4 Zone.
I'll make the motion for ordinance 22-28.
Second?
Roll call, Councilman Bonavich?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Richmond?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. Ordinance 22-29, an ordinance of the Township of Howell changing the zoning of certain properties within the Township of Howell to zoning designation Highway Development 4 or HD4.
I'll make a motion to introduce ordinance O-22-29.
Second?
Roll call, Councilman Bonavich?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Richmond?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. Ordinance 22-30, an ordinance of the Township of Howell supplementing Chapter 188, Article 10, supplementing Section 188-78.2 entitled Highway Development 3 or HD3 to include automobile auctions, automobile sales, new and used, automobile service stations, and automobile repair/auto body uses as conditional use and flex space as a permitted use.
I'll make a motion to introduce ordinance O-22-30.
Second?
Roll call, Councilman Bonavich?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Richmond?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. I want to know why you can't even say it's like you get into the next word and you're like flubbing into the next word already. I want to just mention that our next scheduled meeting date is June 14, 2022. If there's an executive session, it will be at 6 p.m., regular session at 7.
If I may?
Please.
I also would like to invite everyone Monday, the 30th, to our Memorial Day service, which will be held this year for the first time at Sojo Memorial Park. We are going to have a dedication of the memorials that have been moved by the Eagle Scout, and I'm excited to invite everyone. I hope you all join us.
And I think also if you can join us, it's online this year, or something like that, the
Yeah.
live stream.
Oh, the Farmingdale.
Yeah,
Yeah,
one of
Farmingdale.
one of
Yes,
us. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, of course, followed by the Farmingdale Parade, which is an
Very-
institution unto itself.
Yep, very cool.
May I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.